Thank you, Madam
have
Chair.
the capacity
We had a
used
hearing,
as a model for the development of new
I don't know,
medications.
3-4 years ago in a
Emphasis
subcommittee
of
that
our
I
company
chaired
is to
dealing
try
with
to
piracy, and
design
I know this
ways
is a little bit of a
in which
side
we
issue,
can
but it kind
identify
of brought up
molecules
losing
that
some
could
of
be
this,
used
or
as a way
some
to
of you losing
enhance
your business
regeneration,
possibly to
induce an
China.
ability to
And does it
restore
concern, the
function
question's
of
for all of
damaged
you,
tissues.
does it concern you
So we are a early
about,
stage
you know, when
company
you've got
that has focused
manufacturers
on
trying to
two
control
different types
costs,
of stem
maybe
cells
going
using
or looking
essentially
for
the
something
strength
like
of
that.
the
And when we had that
pharmaceutical
hearing
approach
on piracy,
and
I
have
mean,
developed strategies
the
to improve the
products were
ability
absolutely
of,
identical. The
of
quality was
their,
horrible
regenerative capabilities
in most
in
cases, you know,
settings that are
but they were
particularly relevant
absolutely
for
identical,
veterans,
even down to the
including
packaging
those of limb
in
injury,
many cases. Do
blast
y'all
tissue,
worry about that?
musculoskeletal tissues, as well as
You know,
neurologic
is it a
degeneration
concern?
in
Is it a
settings
growing
of hearing
concern?
loss and visual
You know,
loss.
shifting more towards
So
those sub-quality
our
products
company
for
is
a
one
much
that
cheaper
tries to take
price
advantage of
sort of
the
thing, and
necessary
particularly,
need for
you know,
the
with our
innovation
piracy
in the
issues that are coming out of
academic
China
setting,
right now.
coupled with
Mr. Reed?
that of the commercial
Yes, I would
enterprise,
concur
both
totally
with,
with that. On
with
two
government
sides of
partnership.
my personal
Thank you for
business,
your-
on the foundry side, as anyone knows, and gentlemen,
Thank you so
the
much,
Foundry Association will, you cannot compete with the Chinese
In a
market.
conversation
marketplace.
with
They
the
will copy you.
Secretary
They'll
of the
send
Veterans
stuff in the United States. I
Administration,
actually
asked
had
him
an
to,
operation
send
in
somebody
China,
to
which
this,
I've since
hearing. Is there a representative
canceled
from the VA here?
because of that situation. They were physically just
Thank you so much.
pirating
We
the
have some
activity.
representative. I appreciate
I think the problem that we're facing
both the
is
Secretary
we
and
don't
his
play
use-
on level deck
and
in
his
America.
use of the word transformative.
You know, I think the number that,
and the Deputy
that we come up with,
Secretary's,
we're already starting
understanding of
like
innovation, I think,
25%
bode well
behind the
for-
curve when we go
for the
compete
future. But,
against
we
anybody else
wanted
in,
to make
in the
sure
world
people
because
were
of our
well aware of
tax
this.
codes, because of OSHA, because
Mr.
of everything
Mitchell,
else.
Do you have any questions?
And we've been able to be successful over the years because of the
I'd like to ask a
innovativeness
question, a couple
and
questions. Mr. Bethune,
productivity of the American worker.
What makes the
And that's
use
what's
of
so critical to me right now is that I see, and all of us are saying the same thing. Basically, we have to do something to keep the small businesses going with the technology and innovation that we've had for so many years. I think we have a lot of other issues than piracy that concern, obviously we've got a problem internally right now. If we can get that solved, yes, yes, sir, Mr. Graves, I think we need to pursue that in some more fashion to, you know, nobody wants the protectionist system per se. We want to be able to do what we think we can do better than anybody else. That's what's made us doing these things. But in the same token, you would like to have some support from the government as well as the international community to make sure that we're playing to the same rules.
And that is the main reason.
On behalf of MEMA, we have a large number of our members
I
that
have one other
are
question for Mr. Bethune.
gets
In your
a
prepared
large number of their
testimony,
sales from
you
the
argue that this committee
aftermarket
should call upon the
business,
VA's
and it is
headquarters
absolutely
to
critical
implement visual-like
in terms
cost
of
exams
piracy.
across the VA
We see
system.
piracy as stealing jobs
Despite objections raised
out of the
by
U.S.,
senior VA
destroying these
officers.
businesses.
However,
The
you
sales
also
that
mentioned that
of
6
of
facilities in
pirated
the VA
products
system are
coming
already
in
using
are
Visual-Like.
absolutely astronomical.
feedback
I
have
know
you
that there
received
was
from those
legislation
VA
passed
officers
several years ago
who have decided
to
to
address,
utilize
you
your
know,
product?
issues
Does
of
this square
piracy
with
and
the
copyright,
assessments
but quite
of the
frankly,
senior
they have
VA
not,
officials?
these issues have not really been overseen or administered, I should say. There's nothing that has really been done about that. So we need to put some teeth into this legislation
sorry, can you
that
put the
is
mic in
already
front of
out
you?
there and enact some of the
We've
current
proposed that
piracy
we've contacted
legislation
and,
that is in
talked to you
place
about this product.
and really go after these
Find it
folks in a hard
very
way. I mean, there's
important to
several
implement.
cases, brake shoes
Our
made of
problem
sawdust.
is
I
a
know
very
you've seen all
small
that.
company. We do
And
not
it's
have
very
the
disturbing.
resources to call on all of the many VA hospitals.
We've
clinics
seen
around
the
United States,
piracy issues
and it would
firsthand,
take
even on the
us
tooling
years to
side.
have
We've had an
each of
opportunity to
these
build some
institutions
tools for
look
China,
at this
and
technology
you know going
then
in
make
that you're going to get
decisions.
one
That's
opportunity,
why
and
we
you're not
are
going to see it again
urging,
because those tools are going to
the
be copied.
head
So
of
there's
the
an
VA here,
immediate concern and a
General
very real
Shinseki,
concern. And we've had
to look at it
customers
as
that have
a universal
actually
program for
outsourced
all of the
tooling,
VA hospitals.
outsourced to
But
China,
it-
either
the
tooling
feedback
or
you've gotten from
product
the 6
development,
VA
product
hospitals so
part
far has been very
run
positive?
production, and actually
Pretty
created
much so,
competition
yes,
for
sir.
themselves because
Thank you,
China
Mr.
copied those tools, copied those parts, and they see it on
thank
the
you, Mr.
shelves right
Mitchell.
next to their product
Mr.
from
McNerney?
from the very tools that they had built
Thank you, Mr.
and
Chairman.
parts they had ran in China. So
Well, I
very
have to
really,
say
all the way
I
down to the
found
tooling
all of your
side,
testimony very exciting,
piracy.
and this is the kind of thing I want to see happen.
As I mentioned
Bethune,
earlier, the surface
the
finishing
Visualite
industry does not manufacture anything. We just make things
how,
look better, work better, last longer. So we are dependent
is it to
upon a
administer
strong
this test?
manufacturing
Is it
infrastructure in this
swab
country
or
for the survival of
how
our
is the test
industry.
administered?
What we are
I would
seeing
ask,
in our
we
customer
have a
base,
person
some of our
out here,
customers
Dr.
are sending
Balinoff's a practicing
product to
dentist, and
China
he
maybe to
uses
have
this
it quoted,
routinely in his practice. Dr.
and
Balinoff
they may
is
not have
practicing
taken
like
advantage
crazy.
of the China price and kept it here in this country, and they may have used it to lever some of
Sir,
the
we have a
costs
mic,
down domestically. However, several
the end
months
of the,
later, the same
day,
quote
Dias there, if you
that
can just
they
use that
sent
one there.
to China, the same part they sent to China to have quoted, they're seeing in a
If you have the
catalog
patient rinse with
from
acetic
China
acid rinse, which has
up to
kind
the
of a vinegar
portion with their
taste to it,
logo on it.
and the most important thing is
So
to use
that
a light.
certainly
This
is
light
parroting.
will identify
Other things on the
oral
quality side,
abnormalities.
we have one of our major
This is really
customers
important for the
that
general dentist, which is gonna be
competes
screening
worldwide,
the
and especially with
population.
China,
So it's
on
just-
some
it's a
product
very
that's used in the
simple, easy
construction
test that
industry.
takes less
2
than
years
2 minutes
ago,
to do,
we had a
and is
chance to go over to
non-invasive,
China
and
to
is
take a look and
100%
see what they
accurate.
were doing
All
and
you
how they
really
were
is
doing it.
white lesions inside the
And we
mouth.
looked at some of the
But
heat
follow-up
treating
to
that they were
would
doing
be
on
if
some
you
of the
found something
product.
abnormal,
We said, what do they
use
know
the
that we don't know?
plutonium chloride that we have as
We
part of
came
our
back,
kit. And again,
we ordered
non-invasive.
some of the product, or
So
they
you rinse
ordered
out
some of the
the mouth
product.
and then look at
They sent it out
with
to
the light or
independent
something.
testing
That's correct.
labs,
That
10
light is a
different
special
independent
wavelength
testing
white
labs
light,
throughout
which
the
will
country.
allow the
And
dentist to
7
find
out of
something
10
abnormal,
of
and then
those
once they
products
find something abnormal,
failed
to
the
refer off
torsion
to the
and
appropriate
structural
specialist.
tensile
What this light
test
does, it's an
that are
adjunctive
required for
test
that
that
grade of
just makes it
product.
easier. It'd be
Those
kind of
products are
equivalent to
used
going
in
to
safety and
a
nuclear
medical
equipment.
doctor and not allowing the medical doctor to use his stethoscope
Thank
or a
you.
blood pressure cuff. You want
As
something adjunctive to
in
help
the
you
metal
diagnose the
casting
health of the
industry, we
patient,
use a lot of
and that's what
tools
the
and
light
dies
does.
to make our products. So Mr. Overton and I may be
Mr.
a little
Beckman,
redundant in some of our
Brainport vision
comments here,
device
but
sounds very-
just over the
How
past decade or
intrusive
so, the
is
metal
the-
casting
is
industry
the
has
device
just
that's on
been
the tongue? Are
besieged
you
with
able to eat- you have to remove it
tooling
for different
quotes, et
activities,
cetera,
or
coming
how
from
intrusive is
China.
this?
Product goes over there.
vision.
It is absolutely
device does
pirated.
rest
We
on
have
top of the
lost
tongue.
every
And so,
type
yes,
of
indeed, in its current
domestic
form, you would
oil
have
and
to remove
gas
the
drilling
device
equipment
when you were
has
eating,
been
talking, etc.
prominently
However,
displaced over there.
with additional
Compressors,
funding,
things of that area.
there are
What
no
we do, as well as the automotive
technological
sector at
to
Dennison
making this
Industries, we make a lot of
device
castings for
totally
the defense
so that
market.
the
And we do a lot of
could
scanning
be
equipment,
mounted
things that
on the
would,
upper pallet,
in our
and
industry that
blind
would go
people
for
using
basically
wireless
equipment that would, find a
would
life-threatening
be able to
disease,
use
things
the
would
device
scan
without anybody
luggage
knowing that they
at an
actually have the
airport to
technology
keep things out of the airports from
available.
people who are trying to harm us. We produce armaments and vehicles that transport and
I'm
protect our
kind of
troops
thrilled by the
and our
technical
defense
aspect of
systems.
this
What's
rather
the
than the
next thing to
administrative
go
aspect, if
and
you
be
can't
pirated
tell.
over there? And I hope that we don't fall into going after that
Mr.
for
Broker,
cost purposes alone.
the drug that you're talking about